Hello, I'm Natalie Bumgarner, the Residential and Consumer Horticulture Extension Specialist, and I'm here today in our home vegetable garden variety trial plots.
And I'm Virginia Sykes. I am the Variety Trials Coordinator for corn and soybeans in the state of Tennessee with a Research and Extension Agroecology appointment. And so we're going to tell you a little bit about how we came up with this program here in our pilot year. So this is a program where I was looking for vegetable variety trials in Tennessee, and there really is a limited amount of information, and that's because vegetable trials are very hard to evaluate across a number of different geographic locations. So I paired up with Natalie, who is our residential consumer horticulture specialist, and so with my variety trials expertise and her vegetable gardening expertise, we decided to try and implement this program that would take a citizen science approach to evaluating vegetables so that we could get information about how these different things perform across a very wide geographic location.
We're really excited about this project because we know that it has such good utility in the county office. If you ask a county agent, what is one of the most high volume home garden questions they get? It would be, what should I grow? What's new? So I had been doing home garden variety trials, but I'd really only been able to accomplish them here in Knoxville, where I'm stationed. And this project gives us the opportunity to extend our reach and do trials in geographic areas that we would never be able to get information from, simply by tapping into the power and the expertise of home gardeners across Tennessee. So for each one of our trials, we had two comparisons. Say zucchini that are similar in the size of the plant, but different in the color or the shape of the fruit. So here's a good example. This is 8-Ball and Lucky 8, which was our compact or small zucchini comparison.
So we also tried to look at things that are compact in size as well, because not everybody has a 10-foot row that they can grow a group of squash in. And so we're trying to look at things that might be more suitable for containers for someone who doesn't have all of that land space. And this is something we'd like to expand on in the future for people who might be in more urban areas and are limited to container gardening.
One of the most exciting aspects about picking cultivars for the trial is that when we get to the end of the season, we're going to visit with our participants and we're going to ask their input into some of the cultivars that they want to try next year. So we're truly going to not only get data from our citizen scientists, but we're going to have them help us make adjustments to the trials and the comparisons for next year. I just want to give you a little bit of a running tour of some of the varieties that we have in our trial this year. Around me right now are a lot of tomatoes and peppers, which of course were grown as transplants. And rather than send those through the citizen trial, we can only grow so many transplants in Knoxville. These are replicated here and in Master Gardener demonstration gardens across the state. So once again, we have good replication by geography. And we're focusing on about two main characteristics. One of them would be, of course, attractiveness and interest, novelty for the home gardener. This is a great example right here of a pepper plant that is a sweet pepper, but it's variegated. And so you see these beautiful leaves that are, of course, replicated in the fruit. We have some beautiful striped fruit here, and this is called candy cane. It won't actually be on the market till 2018, but we get a chance to evaluate it early. So we have some great cultivars that are good for containers and that provide home gardeners a wide range of places that they could grow them in. So it's important to introduce home gardeners to options that are novel, interesting, that they're excited to grow, but we also want to make sure that we're addressing productivity and disease resistance. And right here behind me is a great example of some of our trials that address those concerns. These are tomato plants that have resistance to early blight, one of our most common foliar diseases in tomatoes. And we have these, of course, growing with other cultivars that might not have such resistance, and we have the opportunity to look at them and see the level of infection or how that might improve or impact fruit production. And it gives us an opportunity to share that information with home gardeners, how much they should spray, how much damage they could expect from these diseases. So being able to share with home gardeners how much disease tolerance we have or how much they might need to spray to grow a good crop is a great way to be able to help them select the cultivars that would grow best in their garden. These are beautiful, but you don't have to grow them this tall. So you want to grow tomatoes in your home garden. They're the most popular crop, but you're not sure if you have enough space for all this. So this year we have some cool trials that are indeterminate dwarf tomatoes. So this tomato will keep producing blooms and fruit throughout most of the growing season, but it remains compact. This is Tidy Rose right here in front of me, which will be available for you as home gardeners in 2018. And it produces a beautiful pink, rosy colored fruit and stays in a great size for containers, for raised beds, to fit gardeners who have gardening areas of all shapes and sizes.
If we can get people to help us and really take the citizen of science approach, then it gives everybody an opportunity to be the researcher and to be a part of this trial. And so we can get many, many more locations than we could ever do alone, and really get a fairer evaluation of how these things perform across the state.
And we're hoping that we get a range of folks, those who have been gardening for 50 years, but also those who might be new to the practice. And some of our cultivars are selected so they work well in containers, so it's not as if you have to have a whole acre in your backyard dedicated to food production. It can work on a variety of scales.
And it also gives us an opportunity to work with industry and some of the things that they would like to introduce into our state, but they don't have enough data to really say, well, is this a good fit for Tennessee? So some of our partners, our citizen scientists, might get the opportunity to evaluate some of these things that aren't even on the market yet.
I would encourage anybody to jump into the program. It's an easy trial. You just plant, you watch them, you let them grow, and then you tell her whether they're sweet, whether they're marketable, whether they produce well, and it's an easy trial for UT, and it's an easy trial for us. We got 3 different seeds of corn that we've planted, and we can show you those in a little while. We have 3 varieties of tomatoes, 3 varieties of peppers, and we are testing them to see which is sweetest, which produced first, which had the best harvest.
Yes, it helps the university, helps the community, but it also helps us, because I would say one of the things we've learned is about some different varieties than what we've always grown. So would we have ever grown a lemon boy tomato? Probably not if it hadn't been in a trial. We would stick to the standard varieties that we already know about. So I would say there have been a couple of varieties that we have grown this year that we will continue to grow simply because we got them in the trial. And it's just nice to have something like that rather than looking at a catalog and saying, now, how's this variety going to do?
It's a win-win for everybody. The ability to provide information for the university as well as produce for the residents of Samaritan Place, like I said, it's just a win-win. The flavor of the squash, specifically the Bossa Nova, the residents absolutely love. The peppers, candy cane peppers, is another variety that was in one of the trials. They absolutely love.
And you like that term, citizen scientist?
I like that term, citizen scientist. Yes, yes. That's pretty cool. Hadn't thought of that one.
We want you to be a citizen scientist too, and we have the perfect opportunity. Check out our website or contact your local county extension office for more details throughout the season. There are 3 simple steps to participating in the Tennessee Home Garden Variety Trials. Step 1 is to select your trial. So to do this, you can check out our website, which has our seed catalog online, or go to your local extension office where there's a physical copy of that same seed catalog. Now every year the varieties will change that we have available for evaluation, and you can pick which type of vegetable group and which type of trial you'd like to participate in. Each trial has 2 varieties of a single crop species, and you can participate in multiple trials across or within different crop species. Now step 2 is to grow your garden. We'll send you the materials for setting up your trial, and this includes a piece of string to measure out the length of the trial. These are grown in 10-foot rows. It'll include both varieties, the seed for both varieties, and information about that particular crop species. It'll also include an evaluation sheet that you'll fill out throughout the season. Step 3, you need to tell us what you think about the varieties that you grew in your home garden variety trial. So you'll take that evaluation sheet and fill out various things about those 2 varieties. Things like which germinated best, which had healthier plants with fewer diseases, and of course, which one tasted better. These are all very important things for people to know about how these different varieties perform across the geographical regions of Tennessee. You can also send us pictures throughout the season, either through email or on our website, or just give them to your county extension office. Now at the end of the season, we'll compile all of that data that we receive from you and put it into our year-end report that shows which varieties perform best across the state of Tennessee for home gardens. So be looking for our year-end report posted online to see how varieties did in your home garden across the state of Tennessee this past year. Thanks for watching, and we hope to work with you soon.